great. We had some really, really bad technical difficulties earlier, and I became a Zoom professional last year as a teacher. 4 hours a day on Zoom. I knew everything about it. And then they gave me a new computer, and Zoom did a bunch of updates in the summer. And I went on today, and things seemed like they were working, and then no sound for my first presentation. So thank you for hanging in there. My sound is coming through my cell phone. I'm the call-in person on there too. So we're making it work. So everybody, welcome. I'm Mr. Murphy, Joe Murphy. And I am new to Sarah, but I'm so pleased to be here and super excited. I have to tell you just to start, so I don't forget this part. Your sons were so amazing my first day of school that you should all be very proud. They're such a great, wonderful, caring group of guys, and they made me feel completely welcomed. They were really receptive to my ideas. They were very expressive in what they wanted to do with their choir. And I just felt like, I've been looking for signs of whether or not this was the right move for me in my life, which you'll see I taught somewhere else for 16 years before this. And that first day with your kids was honestly one of my first clues that this was a good move, because they were just such great kids. And that's a big part of being a teacher, is you want to teach kids that are receptive and kind of see your vision and are very well-rounded and just raised really well. So congratulations for that. Hopefully you can see the little presentation here. I think that should be working out. Here we go. So for men's choir, who the heck am I? I won't do this every year to you, by the way. This is just this year because I'm new. Nobody needs to hear my story that many times. But I just finished my 16th year as the band director at Sierra Linda Middle School. I taught 5 years before that at La Cañada High School down in L.A. That's actually where I got some of the best choral experience of my life. I worked during my prep periods down there. I would go and hang out with Lori Marie Rios in her class. And Lori Marie is president of all the choir associations. She's the number one. She's incredible. And she happened to be the high school director at the high school I was teaching band at. And I would go in there for inspiration and to learn how to conduct choirs, and it was just a life-changing experience. I played in the Los Angeles area. I was a professional tuba player, so I played in a lot of the symphonies. Up from Santa Barbara down to the Inland Empire area, Redlands. Sometimes I'd make that drive in one day, which was not fun, but that's just what you do in Los Angeles when you're trying to make it as a musician. I've been the youth choir director at St. Charles in San Carlos for years now. I run Murphy Music Camps with my wife, which has choirs during the year and then summer camps in the summer. I've been a choral director, choir director, vocal director, and music director at Hill Barn and Broadway by the Bay and Coastal Rep Theater. If you've seen any shows at Hill Barn, you might have seen me as the UPS guy in Legally Blonde. That was too much fun, and I could not pass it up. And I got to play Lancelot in Spamalot, which was at Woodside Community Theater, which was a ton of fun right before COVID hit. And I was music director for Little Shop of Horrors, and I've done a ton of stuff over at Hill Barn. So if you see a lot of shows there, you've probably seen me. I feel like at Sarah, I need to point out that I played football. I don't know. There's just something about being on this campus that makes you feel like you have to. If you played sports, you got to let everybody know. So you're in the crew, you know. But what was funny was I went out and kicked some field goals the first day I was here because I was a field goal kicker in college, and the coach immediately recruited me to be the kicking coach. So now I am Coach Murphy as well, for what it's worth. And I'm a competitive Spartan racer. If any of you golf and you are looking for somebody to golf with, please email me. I will go. It'd be great. I'll just tell my wife I'm trying to, build community at Sarah, meet some parents, and I should probably go golfing because that's what you do. And then we'll see how she reacts. But I've got two boys that are both at Carlmont High School because we live about 3 minutes walk from Carlmont. So they're both a Carolina senior and a sophomore. And my wife is the music director at St. Charles Parish in San Carlos, amongst other musical jobs. She's a professional opera singer. And we also live with my dad in Belmont. So that's me. So our class description basically, students are going to learn the basics of singing fundamentals. I got to hear them a couple days ago individually so that I could voice them appropriately. And what I'm really looking forward to is actually building the boys' voices up, not just as a choir, but as individual singers. I've taken a lot of voice lessons in my life, and I think I can actually just turn some of the boys into better singers in general so that they feel more confident and positive about their experience and what they can contribute to the choir. And then, of course, the choir as a whole, sight reading skills, blending and balancing, and then taking this choir and performing wherever we can. Not too many performances because I know they get really busy, but enough that they get some exposure. Two things that I heard your boys say the first day of school, which kind of got me to the heartstrings a little bit. One was that they were disappointed because there aren't a lot of people in the audience for their concerts. And I said, no. That changes. It may not all be Sarah people coming to the concerts. I don't care if I have to call my Tierra Linda crowd and tell them we're all going to go out to dinner afterwards or something. But there will be people in the seats here. I'm used to having about 400 to 600 people per concert. So we will see a crowd. And the other thing they said was that they wanted to build it. And a couple kids stuck in the choir because they didn't want it to go away, which I thought was really cool. So what I'm trying to get with that is if they want to build it, then let's go. So we're going to be on social media, and we're going to be getting the word out. We might not be able to build this year because it's hard for kids to now jump into a fifth period class. But hopefully we get enough exposure out there that people know about it next year and more kids want to join. And I'm a very competitive person. So if somebody tells me that the biggest men's choir they've ever had here was 26 people, we're going to have 36. That's just, I can't not try to beat a previous record. That's just kind of my thing. Right now we're rehearsing outside. Parents have been asking, are the kids inside? Are they singing with masks? We're masked off with some spacing outdoors. We are working at bringing the choir back in. We will communicate with you as we do that. They would be wearing N95 masks if we bring them inside. We have the HEPA filtration system. We have all the guidelines that some of the other high schools are following. The issue is they have not updated the guidelines for performing arts yet in our community. We're always the last to get something. By the time they update it for us, everything else is shifted. So what they do in that case is they say, go back to the last update, which was in May. This was a different world in May, so it doesn't make sense. So a lot of the high schools are just taking the initiative to say, we're going to do what we think is safe and follow the scientific guidance, which is proper filtration, proper spacing, N95, and stuff. So we're working through that, and we will communicate with you as we plan any shift. And our main goal this year is to have fun, sound great while doing it. Mental health is key for me. So the kids should never feel so pressured that this becomes a class that they're stressed out about, like an AP class or something like that. This should be fun, but we should get a lot done, and my expectations will still be high, but hopefully not stressfully high. This is how they're graded. As long as they're behaving, not screwing around during rehearsal, that should be an easy 30% for them. Their assessments are going to be whether or not, once we get to the tougher music, they're going to have to sing their part and show that they can hold their own pitches and stuff like that. We'll do assessments sometimes in class where I'll set up 2 or 3 of them to sing together so I can hear. And sometimes I'll have them just sing their individual part on Flipgrid where they can do multiple takes until they're happy with it and then send it to me. Concert performance, I don't grade them on whether or not they had a good concert. That's messed up. We've all had bad concerts. Things happen. The lights hit a different way. Sound is different. So I grade on, did you show up on time? Did you dress appropriately? And did you behave for the other groups? That's how I judge the concert. And then the final will be a culmination of the different warm-ups and stuff. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do on the final, but there will not be any surprises. The kids are going to go, we didn't do this all semester. Why is this our final? That happens to music directors all the time, because music directors go, oh shoot, I have to give a final. Well, I don't know, do a 10-page paper on like Baroque music of your instrument, and has nothing to do with the rest of the semester. So, the kids are also, they're going to perform at homecoming, and this year I think I'm going to try to have the band accompany them, which I think would be really cool and special. So the band would be lined up behind the choir, and the choir would be singing with microphones and stuff like that. So that's what I envision in my head. We just got to make that happen. I just said that. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Other performances that we know about right now are the Christmas concert and the spring concert. CMEA, if they're running a festival, that's the California Music Educators Association. If they're running a festival in the spring, we'll try to do that. Some kids asked about the Disney trip. I told them that they have told me not to plan on going on a trip this year. So I put the deposit down, and we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna do what I can. Okay, the deposit's down, but only because it can be rolled to next year if we can't go this year. If we were gonna lose that deposit, then I was not gonna do that to the school. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. I'm still hoping, but they've told me I cannot even do a teacher or a parent meeting or anything about it until we know we're going. I would love to grow the choir to be above 30 men. The other thing that we're working on is building the tri-school choir again. That was kind of cut last year with COVID. So we're trying to recruit a lot of girls. The unfortunate thing, if you haven't heard, is they cut the entire choir program in Notre Dame. There is no choir program. There's now a musical theater class. And they are down to one choir at Mercy that has 18 girls, where there used to be a choir program at Mercy. So it's not my job to bring back music in those two schools, but I'm kind of making it my job this year to get it going again and show them that even if their schools don't have those programs, they have a place over here at Sarah where we can still sing. They can still come over and play instruments in the jazz band and the band. So if they're not going to do it, we'll do it here. Because to me, to tell a girl that plays an instrument coming from a middle school into high school, hey, if you want to come to our school, you don't have a place to keep playing your flute, or you don't have a place to sing. That's not something that I can really live with. So we're just taking everybody right now, and we'll figure out where they land. Inclusivity is massive. Everybody should be able to access music at these schools, so that's what I'm trying to make sure they can do. Even kids who can't sing and can't play an instrument, we have a digital music production class where they're writing rap beats, and they're learning how to do a bunch of stuff on the computer, which is really cool. We have 2 periods of that, and it's super popular. We have 20 kids in each class, and it's a lot of fun. Our goal is to become a fine arts hub for the peninsula, not just for Catholic schools, but for all schools. To just think of Sarah as, they've got a great music program, great drama production, a wonderful art and ceramics program as well. And then even while building this big program, though, we have to make sure that we've all been part of it, like a sports team that had a ton of fun but lost every game, and it was kind of a bummer. And we've been on those sports teams where you won every game, but the coach was completely ragging on you the whole way to get there. I like to try to meet in between. So I'll expect great things out of the kids, but not at the expense of the experience of music and art, which is not supposed to be super stressful. Okay? And the best way to always reach me is through email. If you need further discussion, you can always say, can we set up a phone call or something? But I'll get back to you. And especially, I knew when I took this job, one of the reasons I didn't take any other jobs in the previous years is because I was very comfortable at Sierra Linda, where I knew what I was getting into every single year, and I could roll into the first day of school and everything was set up. And I knew that when I took another job, I would be working tirelessly to set that system up again. So I'm in the middle of that. So if you email me, you will get a response super fast because I want to make sure everything's rolling really well right now. So any questions you have, please just email me.